to my YouTube channel. My name is Tommy. If you're just coming across my channel, I'm so glad you found this channel. If you love anything travel, fashion, lifestyle, family, and everything in between, then this is your channel. I'll be so glad if you click the subscribe button and join this family. And if you are already a subscriber, hello. Thank you so much for sticking around with me. I hope you're having fun so far. Africa is so beautiful, guys, and I got to explore these 4 amazing countries, and I'm here to share all that magic with you. So in no particular order, I'm going to be talking about Zanzibar in Tanzania, Accra, Ghana, Lome, Togo, and Ouidah and Cotonou in Benin Republic. Each country had its own magic, and I'm here to share moments that made me fall in love. Now, I work with Europeans currently, and if I got $1 or €1 for every single time someone has asked me if Africa is safe to visit, then I would be a billionaire by now. And it's so interesting to know that there's still people out there that believe Africa isn't safe or Africa isn't developed. So I made this video because I want you to watch this, and I want you to tell me at the end of the video which of these countries you'd love to visit and which of these countries appear unsafe to you. Because as far as I'm concerned, I had so much fun and I never felt unsafe anytime in any of these countries. If anything, I felt the most safe, and it was just so beautiful. So sit back, relax, watch, and you be the judge. Starting with Zanzibar in Tanzania. Zanzibar literally stole my heart. From the moment I arrived, it felt like my body had just exhaled. Like there was so much peace, calm, beauty. Everything was literally all at once, and everything just felt so peaceful and so beautiful. I started off my stay in the northern part of the island called Nungwi. So this is where like Nungwi and Kendwa beaches are. And when I say the water was crystal clear, like it was so clear, like it was blue lagoon realness. I spent my mornings just watching the tide rolling, and in the evening, sunset by the beach, soft breeze in my hair, coconut in my hand. And let's just not forget the vibes. There was just something so magical about the energy there. The locals just chilling. So they literally have a slogan, Hakuna Matata, as we all know from Lion King, but they take it really seriously there. And they also say pole pole, like take it easy. They don't believe in rushing or just being anxious for anything. They just live their lives so peacefully and beautifully. But one thing about them, they keep to time. So meaning they do not practice the concept of African time or showing up late. If the tour guide tells you I'll be at your hotel at 9 a.m., best believe at 8:30 he's already there. So that's something that I really loved about them. They really do keep the time in Zanzibar. Now let's talk Mnemba Island. You see those dreamy Instagram travel pages with the perfect water? Think Mnemba. So this clip you see in the video is Mnemba Island. It was so beautiful, and you can snorkel here, you can go scuba diving here, you can watch the dolphins, you can find the starfish like I did, and I was so excited. This was the first time in my life that I would see a starfish, and trust me guys, it was really memorable for me and really exciting. I literally saw fish of every color. They were all just in the water, and they were just like, hey girl, welcome. But yeah guys, it was so beautiful, and I definitely recommend. Now I filmed a longer version of my Zanzibar trip, and I will put the link in the description box if you want to watch that. Now let's talk about the fruits. They have the yummiest mangoes I have ever had in my life, and I genuinely think they have the best mangoes in the world, because I've had mangoes in at least 6 other countries and nothing tops it. So if you ever find yourself in Zanzibar, make sure you ask for their mangoes. And trust me, you'd be glad you did. One thing I also noticed was the fact that they have a lot of tourists in the country. And here is Baraka Zoo. At the entrance, there were these souvenirs which I got. And then it was time to swim with the turtles. Swimming with the turtles offers a unique experience to swim with sea turtles, and I chose not to go in the water, but you can choose to go in it if you want. I stayed at 3 different hotels during my stay, and one thing I noticed is the fact that every single meal offered by each hotel tasted really fresh and really delicious. So that's something I can also say, is that you will have yummy food in Zanzibar. Another thing that really stood out to me are the hotels. Now, they have a wide variety of different hotels. Based on your budget, you can find something for you. You can also find something for the vibe you're looking for. Basically, you can feel like you are in another country even when you're in Zanzibar. So, for example, they have hotels that look like you're in Greece, they have hotels that look like you're in Mauritius, the Maldives, just different hotels basically that just have different vibes. So, you can literally choose a hotel that works for the vibe that you want. Also, to show how tourist centered they are, they actually accept US dollars or their local currency, Tanzanian shillings. Now, let's talk about the Rock restaurant. It's literally sitting on a rock in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Like, whose idea was it? So genius. I went during the low tide, so I was able to walk into the restaurant. And the funny thing is, after we're done eating, the tides were high. And so we had to take a boat out of the restaurant. Like it was so amazing. I had pasta and I 10 over 10 recommend. It was so good. Chef's kiss. Now let's talk about Stonetown. If you love culture like I do, Stonetown is a must. The streets are narrow and twisty, and it feels like you're walking through history. Every door has a story, every building has a vibe. It's a mix of Arab, Indian, and Swahili influences, and the spices, OMG. The smell of cloves and cinnamons hits you like a warm hug. I got some souvenirs and I even visited the old slave market site. It was heavy, but it was important. Now let's talk Prison Island. Now, when you hear Prison Island, it sounds kind of intense, but it's actually a peaceful getaway where you can actually hang out with the most gigantic tortoises you probably have ever seen. I mean, for me, this is the most giant tortoise I had ever seen. And some were like over 100 years old, some of them were 40 years old. But you'd see the age of the tortoise written on its back. I had so much fun at Prison Island, and I also intend to do a full vlog separate on Prison Island, so you can look out for that. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel so you don't miss out on any of the vlogs I'll be posting. Zanzibar is not just a place, it's a whole mood. It's romance, it's relaxation, it's a girls trip, it's a couples trip, it's a solo escape, it's every single thing you want it to be. Okay, so if you're looking for that place to unwind, recharge, and remind yourself that life can actually be soft and exciting, Zanzibar is calling you, and I highly recommend that you answer. Next, we're headed to Accra, Ghana. Ghana was a whole vibe. From the minute I landed in Accra, I just felt this rush of nice, bubbly energy. And the skies, they were perfectly blue. I spent a lot of time driving around Accra and just taking it all in. 1 minute you're in a quiet neighborhood, the next minute you are in the middle of a lively street or market filled with people selling everything from tomatoes in traffic to plantain chips to handmade jewelry. And this just reminded me of my home country, Nigeria. One of my most meaningful stops was the Kwame Nkrumah Museum. Now it's more than just a museum, it's a sacred ground. You can literally feel the pride in the air. This man led Ghana to independence, and being there reminded me of how far Africans have come.
It was a very powerful, emotional, and honestly such an inspiring story. As a tourist, visiting Ghana's Independence Square was also one of the places that I just had to visit, and I'm so glad that I did because it's very important to Ghana's history. It's one of the largest independence squares in the world, and it holds deep historical significance. The Black Star Gate at the center symbolizes African freedom and unity. And the square is used for national celebrations and parades, especially on Ghana's Independence Day. It's honestly a great spot for taking photos if you are a photo lover like myself and just soaking in Ghana's patriotic spirit. Next up, we have the Aburi Botanical Gardens. Now, I've seen beauty before, but the beauty of this place is a discovery. It's so lush and green, and it's just like nature took its time. I think it's perfect if you are looking for a peaceful escape from city chaos. I walked around and I took in fresh air and I just let my mind breathe. And this moment was for my soul, okay? Sometimes you just need to sit under a tall tree and feel small in the best way. Now, the night views from my hotel in Accra is something that I looked forward to every night. It was so beautiful. I loved the way the city lights up at night, and it was honestly just something that I really appreciated on my trip. Now, I remember talking about the beauty of the Aburi Botanical Gardens, but another place that really stood out to me and that I thoroughly enjoyed visiting was the Asenema Waterfalls. Now, that was my waterfall princess moment. The waterfall is tucked in the eastern region and it's like a secret garden with water pouring down like blessings. I didn't take off my shoes, but it was such a beautiful experience. And if you are a lover of nature like myself, then I highly recommend that you visit here. I was screaming, dancing, and living my best carefree life. And you know I didn't leave without shopping, right? The Accra Art Market is every creative girl's dream. Paintings, jewelry, kente, hand-woven bags, you name it. Now, Ghana is more than a country. It's a feeling, it's heritage, it's hustle, flavor, rhythm, resilience, and joy. If you ever need a reminder that you are royalty and your roots run deep, then I would say book a ticket to Ghana, sweetheart, and Ghana will remind you of exactly who you are. Now, I only spent 4 days in Ghana, but trust me, it was such an adventurous 4 days, and I definitely will be returning to Ghana really, really soon. And I highly recommend that you visit Ghana. Now, guess where we're headed to next? I'll give you a few seconds. All right, let's let the cat out of the bag. Lomé, Togo. Now, Togo might not be the loudest in the room, but listen, Togo is that quiet girl, that soft life girl who minds her own business and gives you peace. I arrived in Lomé, the capital, and immediately I felt the calm. Everything moves a little slower here in the best way possible. The streets are wide, clean, and filled with palm trees. There's this softness, there's this softness to this city that just makes you want to breathe deeper. I honestly felt like I could relocate here at the end of the day. Togo is a French speaking country and they are very heavily influenced by the French culture. I visited the Independence Monument and let me tell you, it's more than just a statue, it's pride in physical form. Togo, like so many other African countries, fought hard for their freedom, and being there made me appreciate that quiet strength. Most of the locals were really friendly and nice. I spent most of my time there driving along the streets or walking around, exploring the local markets, and I also spent time just soaking up the local vibe. Now, as a tourist, one of the places that beautifully stood out to me is the Palais de Lomé. It's a beautifully restored colonial era palace located in Lome, Togo. It was once the presidential residence, but now it has been transformed into a vibrant cultural and arts center. It is surrounded by lush gardens. It showcases contemporary African art, history, and architecture. The building itself is so stunning. It blends the French colonial design with modern elegance. It's such a peaceful and inspiring place to explore Togo's artistic soul, and I would highly recommend that if you are ever in Togo, you visit here, as this is one of the strongest tourist spots to visit. In conclusion, the vibe in Togo was very authentic. No touristy gimmicks, just real good food and real good people. Togo may not be so flashy, but it's rich in calm, it's rich in culture and in charm. It's that soft reset that you didn't know you needed, so you can always come here to unplug, recharge, and remember that quiet can also be very beautiful. Now let's talk Benin Republic. I was honestly so surprised by Benin Republic in the sense that it's Nigeria's next door neighbor, and all my life I had heard about Benin Republic, but I had never visited until last year, October. That is 2024 October, when I visited for the first time. I was pleasantly surprised by the fact that it was so small, yet so peaceful, so beautiful, so organized. It's also a French speaking country, just like Togo. My main stop was Cotonou, and later on we went to Ouidah. And I'll be honest with you, I went in curious to Benin and I left absolutely moved. Now I'm going to be telling you the places that I went to and sharing my adventure with you. The first place that I went to that changed everything for me was the Temple of Pythons. Now, I wasn't planning to touch or interact with the snakes, but I just went because I was with other tourists and we all just went together. Now, note that these people worship these pythons as sacred symbols, and I can't believe that I actually touched one. At first, I was like, no, thank you, but the guide was so kind, and he really just explained how it was going to go down. And the people that I was with also, touched the snake and had it around their neck. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just do it as well. And surprisingly, I felt really proud of myself afterward. It was a beautiful experience. And that was literally me facing my fear. Let's talk the arts and crafts market in Benin. Now, if you love art as much as I do, I highly recommend that you come here. I was blown away with the amount of artistic pieces that they had. Everything was so colorful, so beautiful, and full of life. I saw a lot of handmade masks, beads, and the most beautiful textiles. There were so many unique pieces, and every piece told a story, and the artisans were so passionate about their work. I really enjoyed chatting with the sellers, learning about the meanings behind each of their crafts, and even bargaining a little. It's part of the fun. And I ended up buying this piece right here. It was such a beautiful way to connect with Benin's culture and take home truly unique souvenirs. Ouidah is filled with history, and every corner has a story, from the ancient traditions to the remnants of the colonial history. Another place that I visited and thoroughly enjoyed was Babsdock. Now, Babsdock felt like a hidden lakeside retreat, a peaceful escape from the bustle and hustle of the city. The journey itself was part of the magic, parking on land first and then gliding through dense mangroves by boat before arriving at the wooden pontoon and stilted structures. The ambience was laid back and charming. Rustic wood architecture told a story of ecotourism and harmony, and the European style restaurant offered rice, chicken, plantain, and cocktails. We paid a small entrance fee of 2,500 sefa, which included the boat ride and sounds like a great deal, just to be able to access the serene setting. The dock had lounges, beanbags, hammocks, and shaded nooks perfect for reading, chatting, or simply drifting into relaxation. There were water activities there like kayaking, a small sailboat, swimming, and even guided boat rides to explore the lake and the nearby Ganvi. However, we didn't go there. We just stayed in Babsdock. We got to vibe to soft music in the background and it was a really chill experience in the European lake house feel amid the mangroves. There were some really cute donkeys. And yeah, this is part of what I really loved. I really love nature. So it was fun for me just being here, interacting with the donkeys. And they were so cute and likable. And honestly, I think this was one of my most memorable experiences. Actually, I feel like every single part of my trip was so memorable, but I will highly recommend you come to Babsdock if you ever find yourself in Benin. And then there was bird watching, lots of plenty local species fleeting around the waters, and the mangroves enhanced the tranquil vibe. All in all, Babsdock is a perfect fusion of eco adventure and cultural charm, lakeside leisure, and a hidden gem worth multiple visits. It's also important to note that Africa's longest graffiti wall, known as Le Mur du Patrimoine, I hope I pronounced that correctly, but it simply means heritage wall, stretches across Port Autonome de Cotonou in Benin's capital, Cotonou. So, Benin Republic is such a special and beautiful place to visit. Benin is quiet, but it's fierce. It's layered, ancient, spiritual, and strong. It made me think, feel, and made me so grateful to explore this side of West Africa. So, guys, don't sleep on Benin. It's rich in ways that have nothing to do with money.
Thank you so much for watching my video. If you watched up to this moment, you, my friend, are very patient and I'm so proud of you. Thank you for watching. Now, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, share if you haven't done that already. And I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Please tell me which of these countries stuck out the most to you, and which of these countries have you already visited? Which of these are you a citizen of, and which of these would you love to visit in the future? Let me know in the comments. See you guys in my next vlog. Bye!